What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to turn our focus away from Call of Duty Mobile just for this video. And we are going to be discussing Warzone Mobile because, believe it or not, we've already made it past a year of this game being out. And no, I don't have background footage because that game sucks ass and I'm not going to bother wasting my time recording footage for a broken ass game. But I do want to take this time and I guess reflect on the 1 year of, I guess, pure disaster that this game has been. Basically because this is really the only thing that this game really amounted to. There was not one time where all of us in unison actually thought the game was actually pretty good. But yeah, unfortunately, maybe in some other timeline it is. But I guess, I just want to make this video, talking about this game a little bit more because I know we're at the point now where I'm pretty sure Warzone Mobile is going to sunset anytime now. Even if somehow in the Season 3 update for Black Ops 6 that carries over to this game, even if that happens and it's somehow good, I think at this point we're kind of at a point of no return. Despite it being out for like an entire year, we haven't really heard any, like, not even the devs say like, happy like 1 year anniversary. Like no one is posting like a happy 1 year anniversary thing for Warzone Mobile unless it's like those hopeless Warzone Mobile dick riders. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that are still kind of hopelessly holding on to hope that Warzone Mobile is going to come back from the entire, like this whole entire disaster of a year, but it just really doesn't seem to be the case anymore. In fact, those are the same people that are trashing COD Mobile right now for adding wildcards when Warzone Mobile probably should have had wildcards with the Black Ops 6 update, but they just never implemented it into the game. But I could say with a shadow of a doubt, I think the only time Warzone Mobile was fun was probably when it first came out because that's when it had like the least issues. I think the game truly fell off when the Black Ops 6 update came out with all its guns and everything. And just the game became just far, far worse. We had no camo grind. The game was buggier than ever. And, after all the promises that they made that they were going to make the game more stable, they really didn't deliver, despite the fact also that they were dropping support for a lot of different phones or mobile devices in general. And they still failed to make the game run good. I have an iPad M4 and that even runs like shit. I mean, it probably runs at maybe like 30 frames. Maybe a little bit more if I'm lucky. But yeah, I mean, even the strongest of devices can't even run the game. It's actually a complete disgrace. I don't think, honestly, this has to be one of the worst mobile games that to ever be released in the App Store or even Google Play. I mean, there's a lot of shooter games that have made its way into the mobile gaming space. But I think by far Warzone Mobile has to have been like the worst that we've ever gotten. Fun fact, my first shooter game when I first started playing mobile was, I think, it was either Pixel Gun or it also had to be High Noon. Well, High Noon got like discontinued mainly because it became way too pay to win. Like at first, the game was awesome. Like it had some pay to win aspects, but it was never something to the point where it's like COD Mobile where you had to spend like $300 for a fully upgraded Mythic. It was nowhere near anything like that. But then they released an update that made it extremely pay to win. And yeah, basically the game shut down because no one wanted to play it anymore. But I think the game that I do want to discuss a little bit was like Pixel Gun. Because, I mean, when I first started playing that game, I think the iPhone 5S was still out. It was like relatively like a newer phone at the time. And even with a shooter game like that, it ran like butter. I mean, it was so smooth. And over time, technology has improved. And, we have a lot more better 3D or I guess three-dimensional shooters such as this one. And yeah, I mean, even Pixel Gun right now, it's still running fine. It's a little more pay to win than before, but it's still playable nonetheless. Point is, we've had a lot of games in the past, even way before COD Mobile's time, that have succeeded and are continuing to run. But Warzone Mobile, unfortunately, is not going to be one of those games that does it because of, I guess, the developers who made this game. Like, I kind of feel like if they just let Timmy Studios or someone, that's, more well-known for making mobile games like COD Mobile, probably, the game probably would have succeeded a little bit better. But I think, at the end of the day, I think the problem was just, I think it was maybe the engine, maybe it was just not powerful or like, not powerful, but it was a little bit too much for mobile devices to handle. I mean, even if you downscaled it to like 140p. Like clearly we're still having a lot of issues running the game no matter what device you have. Your device is just like overheating. You could basically cook an egg with that device. It's wild. And keep in mind, the game was in development for some time before we even got announcements or even leaks. So they had all this time to, I guess, improve on the game, and I guess they never took the opportunity or just wasted the opportunity to do so. And I mean, there was a time where I guess when the game first came out, they were making some changes, decreasing the difficulty of matchmaking. They were also helping mitigate heating issues, and they're making the game run a little bit better, which I did notice. And, like I said before, when I went into the army and I came back, I was at least assuming the game would be a lot more optimized. But no, it was the same, if not worse. And I did have some hope that in the Black Ops 6 update, they might have, you'd think they would have at least fixed a lot of issues with that stuff. But no, it just became a lot worse. It started performing even worse than before. We didn't have access to attachments. The entire camo grind was gone, no matter if you're grinding for Interstellar or Orion, or even if you wanted to get Dark Matter, none of that stuff was even available. And then when they did add camo challenges, they only added it for BR, which, let's be honest, it's kind of useless because not every camo challenge tracks anyway. So even if you wanted to get Abyss camo in Battle Royale, it's not going to matter. You're not going to be able to unlock it, at least in this game. You would have to go into Black Ops 6 Warzone to actually get the camo. It might be a little easier to do it here, but it's not going to be the same for every gun, So unfortunately, this game has just let us down time and time again. And unfortunately, we're coming to a point where I think the game is officially going to sunset. And I'm surprised it hasn't sunset sooner. I don't think Apex Mobile was even like in its first year before it got sunset, unfortunately. I mean, that game was far more optimized than Warzone Mobile, like hundreds of times more. But I mean, again, there's probably reasons why it got sunset. I never really actually searched into it, but for a game to run so well, it was really sad for that game to be sunset the way that it was. And look, I hate talking shit about Warzone Mobile. I wish the game was good. I think anyone would agree that, they would wish the game had ran perfectly. But I mean, I guess, sometimes, shit goes wrong. Sometimes things don't turn out the way that we expect it to turn out. But, while I have you guys here, I do also want to talk about the people that are kind of like just, hopelessly dick riding the game. There's no other better term to say it. I mean, I've seen them all over Twitter, or I guess X at this point. Asriel or Yato or just other people that, talk about it. I think there's like one called Morphin Warzone Mobile or Hunter Raffi on YouTube that have been like, they always post videos like, oh, like season 3 update, it's gonna be the biggest update, yeah, stuff like that. And look, while I admire the dedication that they have for the game, and maybe they see something in it that I guess like the 99.9% of us don't. But I mean, you have to learn when to call it quits, man. I have noticed them getting clowned on like just endlessly on Twitter. And look, I don't mind, like I'm not one to be an asshole all the time, but in one of these cases, I think, just the community is just trying to knock some sense into them. But again, you have to understand when it's over, Like again, the dedication is strong, but it's misplaced. I understand that there's like I guess a relatively small community of Warzone mobile players that still, I guess, grind out the game. And there's still people grinding up to level 1000 there, but to give people like this false hope that the game is somehow going to thrive one day, it's just, I don't really think it's going to happen. I think at some point the game is truly going to sunset and it's going to like shut down. And like look, I don't want to say that I told you so, preemptively, but I told you so. We all told you so. And look, I'm no stranger of being part of a small community. I mean, I played Call of Duty Ghosts on the Wii U and I only had like 250 players at the max. Everyone knew who each other was, but it was kind of nice having that small community. But of course, we all understood that the game was going to get no updates, but we kind of just played it anyway. So I kind of understand why they have a small community and why they keep playing the game. They probably know themselves that the game is screwed, but they just keep playing it anyways and just enjoying it for what it is. How the Ghost Wii U community was until the game shut down. I mean, they kept playing it, they liked it for what it was, despite it not getting any DLC updates. And, that was that. But with Warzone Mobile, it's like I'm seeing a community that just like, let's say for example, you have like a family member that's in a coma and you know for a fact like they're already messed up to the point where you know they're not going to wake up, but you hold on to that one little hopeless feeling that they one day might wake up. And it's just like it's just not going to happen. Not the best analogy in the world, but you guys basically get what I mean. I mean, they're just they're fighting a losing battle here. And look, like I said, I mean, I'm going to give the game one final chance around the Season 3 update if they don't deliver on anything. Yeah, I'm just going to completely uninstall the game. Like, if the game's not running well, if we still have no dark matter to grind for, if everything is basically the same as the Season 2 Reloaded update, or even just the regular Season 2 update, like, there's no point of playing the game anymore because there's just nothing to do. The game sucks. You know, it's even my iPad fucking overheats. It's like, I'm not going to put my iPad through that fucking stress. I think, honestly, what they should have done at the very, very start of this entire Warzone thing, I think they should have just added, like, the Warzone mechanics to COD Mobile for their BR. I mean, I think that probably would have been a better choice. I mean, a lot of the mechanics are there. You know, you have like the armor plates, but you know, like for me, I never liked the reactive armor or all those weapon perks that you could put on. I always kind of felt like that was kind of unfair because if someone gets like a long shot perk, like a legendary one, the other team is basically screwed. But even then, I think COD Mobile's BR is probably doing just fine. I would say. I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of people have massive complaints about it, so I'm assuming it's doing well. But yeah, bottom line, this whole year of Warzone Mobile has been basically a complete disaster. There's no redeeming qualities with the game. I know a lot of people are trying to keep the spark alive, so to speak, but it's just to no avail. I mean, no one's buying it on Twitter. Like the support that they have on their own things is just a bunch of people just kind of just bullying them into submission. And yeah, I mean, I think it's time for the game to just finally sunset. I really see no hope. Even after the season 3 update, I still see no changes coming in that are going to be significant. Maybe they'll have a few bug fixes here and there. I mean, they have been working on the bugs. I will say that. I mean, like they kind of, you know, they added all the attachments that weren't, you know, able to be put on your weapons. They fixed stuff like that, but in terms of performance, which is basically the core thing that they need to fix, they haven't really delivered at all. And unfortunately, they won't. I'll be amazed if this makes it to a second anniversary, but I think the first anniversary is going to be the only anniversary that this game gets before it actually does get shut down in the near future. So yeah. And plus also, I forgot to mention, I mean, I like regular Warzone as well is kind of on thin ice too, because they said that if Verdansk doesn't succeed with the Black Ops 6 Warzone, then they're going to shut down Warzone like later on, or like they're just going to stop supporting Warzone in general and just focus on the mainline CODs that release in the future. So, I mean, it's not like Warzone Mobile is the only Warzone that's suffering. It's also like the mainline Warzone that's also kind of suffering. So with the threat of the regular Warzone, you know, getting shut down, I mean, that pretty much makes the chances of Warzone Mobile survival a lot more slimmer. But it is what it is. You know, I enjoyed the game at the time for what it was, but it just became unplayable. And now, you know, it's time for that game to go. I mean, you know, it could have been something more, something that could have replaced COD Mobile potentially, but unfortunately that isn't the case. And I think COD Mobile is going to stay here to be the dominant COD game at some point. You know, I mean, a lot of people are turning away from the mainline COD, so COD Mobile might be the next best thing. If anything, it's probably the best thing right now. So here's to many more years of COD Mobile, and here's to, I guess, the shutdown, or I guess the potential shutdown of Warzone Mobile. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for some more COD Mobile, or I guess Warzone Mobile content, hopefully if they decide to get their head out of their ass. But hey, anyways, I'll see you guys next time.